Welcome and thank you for joining with me for this week's midweek video. This week we're looking at the question, how do the dinosaurs fit into the biblical worldview or fit into the Bible? So let's tell you what the Bible has to say. It's not much about dinosaurs, but there is some information. We're told at the beginning in Genesis chapter 1 that on day 6 God made all the land animals, and so that would include the dinosaurs. Right? All land animals. And at the same time that he made the dinosaurs and all other land animals, we're told that he made the first man and woman, Adam and Eve, though I'm not quite sure they look like this. So according to the Bible, dinosaurs and humans roamed the earth at the exact same time. Now, a little bit further on, we can find in the narrative of what God gives us is he had to judge the world, right? And he had to bring about a global flood. And one of the things that God tells Noah is he says to take every land animal who has breath, who breathes through his nostrils onto the ark. Well, that would include dinosaurs as well. So some people falsely think that, okay, dinosaurs aren't here anymore because they weren't put onto the ark with Noah. But the Bible, in its declarations, talks about the idea that dinosaurs would have fit that same category to go onto the ark with Noah. And so they would have been there. So then how did the dinosaurs die off? Well, really, we don't know. We can't go back in time and see, and the Bible doesn't give us that great of details. We can assume that maybe it's something to do like how other animals go extinct today, that humans do play a factor into that. And also there's some Christian scientists who would say that the Ice Age happened shortly after the global flood. And so there's a good chance that that had something to do with it as well. But in all, we don't really know. Now there's a couple other passages in the Bible that seem to hint at dinosaurs, but we won't get into that today. So this might lead up, though, to another kind of thought that kind of hits our mind right now. Okay, now we know how the dinosaurs fit into the Bible. But that's not what I hear at the museums, right? When we walk through the museums and we see the skeletons of these dinosaurs, and they'll give us the summary of when these dinosaurs roamed the earth and some details behind it. And what I've just told you isn't what you're going to hear in the museum. And the reason is we have to remember that museums are not religious institutions. They're not looking at things from the biblical perspective. They're actually looking at the world and trying to explain the world without the biblical God. So you're not going to find in these secular museums sections on the dinosaurs that talk about God creating them, right? Because that's not their starting point. They have to explain the world without God. And so they're looking at things going, how can we get to where we are today based on what we know? And they're using things that we would fall in line with science, right? And science is a good thing. But we have to remember that science is only good as the data we put into it, right? If we leave information out, it's going to mess up our conclusions. If we put too much information in, it can mess up our conclusions. We also have to be careful that we're human beings and we make mistakes and we're weak individuals and we can influence how we interpret the data, right? Based on what we want to see and sometimes just our worldview, what we're willing to accept, right? If you don't believe that God exists, you're not going to look at data and find a reason of how this data supports that God exists, right? You're going to say, man, this doesn't quite line up to how we would think, and so you're going to be coming up with theories on how it can correlate to the way that you think. And so that's what museums will do, and they'll come up with a different storyline than what the Bible would have to say. Now, I want to encourage you, though, there are Christian scientists out there who have PhDs in their field of study that do have scientific data that supports the dinosaurs being according to the biblical time frame and what the Bible declares about dinosaurs. And they have published resources as well. And so that might be something that you would be excited or would like to dig into. And I encourage you to look that up. They have great data using the science and scientific methods to show how the dinosaurs do fit the biblical time frame and they do fit in with the Bible. So go ahead and check those things out. More can be said on this, but for now, let's leave it at that.